As the legislative assistant to Columbus City Council member Rob Dorans, chair of the Public Utilities Committee. Before we begin, I would like to thank everyone for their work in preparation for tonight's Board of Revision proceedings. To our board members who I will introduce momentarily, as well as the city clerk and her team, city council staff, the leadership and representatives from the Department of Public Utilities and the city attorney's office. I would also like to thank our facilities team, City Hall security, CTV, and perhaps most importantly, the residents of the Freeway Kingshill area for their patience tonight throughout this process. To those who support the street lighting assessment subject of tonight's Board of Revision, and to those here to voice their objections, thank you all. The purpose of this meeting is to hear from those who have filed a written objection to the assessment within the city clerk during the designated time period following notification of the assessment. The Charter of the City of Columbus provides council with the power by ordinance to provide for the construction, reconstruction, repair, and maintenance by contract or directly by the employment of labor of all local improvements, and to provide for the payment of any part of any such improvement by levying and collecting special assessments upon abutting, adjacent, or contiguous or other specially benefited property. Should a property owner object to an assessment, Charter Section 172 calls for the appointment of council of a Board of Revision to hear such objections. City Council appointed the Board of Revision by Resolution Number 001X 2023, adopted on January 9th, 2023. The members appointed are Tynesha Harden, Sarah Ingalls, and Trent Smith. Also in attendance tonight from the city's Department of Public Utilities, Division of Power, Jody Stefanik, will speak about the background of this assessment and about the project in general. Assistant City Attorney Tracy Bradford is here this evening to provide background on the authority of the board and answer any questions from the legal perspective of this assessment process. Thank you all again for being here tonight. At this time, I will now turn it over to Assistant City Attorney Tracy Bradford to swear in the board members by administering the oath.
Do you hereby accept your responsibilities as a member of the Board of Revisions as set forth by the laws of the state of Ohio and the city of Columbus? And do you hereby swear or affirm that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Revision to the best of your knowledge and ability? If so, please signify by stating I do.
I do. Thank you, Assistant City Attorney Bradford. At this time, we need to appoint a board chairperson.
I nominate Trent Smith.
Second, and so moved. Let the record show that Trent Smith has been elected board chair.
First, we will hear from the representatives of the Division of Power, Jody Stefanik, on the background of the street lighting assessment.
In 2018, the Freeway Kingshill neighborhood was identified for street lighting. The neighborhood was given the option of underground lighting, where they would pay the differential between the cost of a decorative lighting system or the standard wood pole and overhead wiring system. The neighborhood circulated a petition in favor of the underground lighting. The city required above the minimum 60% to proceed with the decorative lighting. The city then proceeded with preparing construction plans. This sound is awful. Okay. The city then proceeded with preparing construction plans. Our construction plans are finalized. We then sent out a couple months ago, I think it was September, the notice of assessment to the residents with the estimated cost. The next step is this Board of Revisions. And then After the outcome of this, we hope to go to bid in the next month or so and possibly begin construction late spring, early summer.
Thank you, Jody. Next, we will hear from the Assistant City Attorney, Tracy Bradford, about our authority as the Board of Revisions and our role here tonight.
I'm just going to adjust it just a little. I don't know if it'll, okay. Can you hear me? Is it working? Okay. As you know, this is a statutory proceeding that's provided in the city's codified ordinances. As she said, the legislation for the improvement was passed in 2017. Notice was sent to all the property owners. There were some objections that did come in. There were 6 that came in within the allotted time period. And so those written objections were in your packet. There were, I believe, almost 6 other ones that were also filed, but those cannot be considered because they were sent in past the amount of days that is allotted for that. So because of that, those objections are actually waived. Having provided all the notice and the legislation previously for the improvement was passed, at this juncture, the board's authority really is to look at the amount, the total cost of the assessment, the difference between that and the estimate for the wooden poles, which would be the normal street lighting that would be installed, as to then compare that to the decorative, and that difference in cost is what is assessed equally to each property owner within the confines of this particular project. And so you're looking at that, you're making sure that, the numbers really add up, excuse me, and that it's allotted specifically in the right amount to each property owner. The property owners do not have to pay that all at once. There's a process of holding it out for like a 10-year period, and so it just goes on the property taxes of that individual, and it's paid over time. It's not something that everyone has to pay immediately. Other than that, I don't know if you have any questions for me, but that is the process. If there's anyone here that wants to speak and object, now's the time to have them come forward.
Thank you, Assistant City Attorney Bradford. The city clerk received 6 written letters of objection, and at this time, we will hear from those who are in attendance in the order that they have signed up to speak. So at this time, let the record show that there are no objectors present in council chambers, and we will give an additional 10 minutes for anyone to arrive before we proceed further. So the 10 minutes starts now. And no speakers have come forward. So having no further speakers, are there any remaining questions by the board for the Division of Power or the City Attorney's Office before we make our decision? Hearing none, I would like to remind everyone here that what has already been stated, that per the city's charter, we are limited in our authority to recommend that an estimated assessment be changed. We are authorized to consider issues related to the amount of the estimated assessment and how that amount is apportioned to each property owner. We are not authorized to adjust the estimated assessment based on issues such as the property owner's ability to afford the estimated assessment or the property owner's desire not to take part in the planned improvement. Based on the charter and having taken into consideration the testimony of those objecting and supporting to the special assessment, I'll ask Assistant City Attorney Bradford to conduct a roll call vote for the question at hand. Any member voting to amend the estimated assessment and or how that amount is proportioned to each property owner must state the reasons for that recommendation with their vote.
I'll take the roll call.
Yes.
Ms. Harden?
No.
Ms. Ingalls?
No.
And Mr. Smith?
No.
3-0.
The vote of this board will be forwarded to the city council to be reflected in legislation that moves forward to authorize the public improvement, that the public improvement proceed. We thank you for being here tonight, and at this time, we conclude the meeting of this Board of Revisions with no further business. We are adjourned.